Today we'll be talking about debt, loan. Yes, not the loan sharks kind of loan, but loan between two friends, siblings, mom and daughter, father and son kind of loan.
Husband and wife.
Husband, oh my God, I do not even want to talk about that.
Because you left it out. So you mentioned every other person, but you left out husband and wife.
Right. So debt is a constant and a dark cloud. I mean, weighing down on many people's lives. I mean, borrowing money and repaying it become a norm in the society, of course, and this modern society. Now, it is common almost to the point of ubiquity, unfortunately. I mean, it is now as often as it has become so much a reoccurrence, that happens now. Everybody is almost indebted to somebody. There is always that money that you need to pay back at any time. So some people borrow money when they have the need to. I mean, you don't have a choice. That is what you need at that time. It could be for school fees and other necessities of life. While other people, it's just to maintain a lifestyle and standard. We're talking about people that it's all about the flexing. We've seen people go to business owners, borrow buyers. Yes, I'm saying it because I know people do that a lot. They borrow or they get things on loan, clothes, shoes, and all that, just to keep up to the standard of living and live an extravagant life. And there is other people also that simply are unable to manage their finances responsibly, which is also the truth. You put yourself in a situation whereby you end up in a huge, massive loan and you cannot do anything about it. Now, in Christianity, the Exodus 22:14 says, if anything is borrowed, it should be paid back. If what is borrowed is lost or injured, then full restitution must be made. Now, while in Islam, a person in debt is like a prisoner, as the Prophet ﷺ said, your companion who has passed away is being detained by his debt. So if you even love someone, the moment that person is late, you're supposed to go ask around if there is any loan harboring on the head of that person in order to pay off. So right now we're going to talk about loan, the perceivedness of it, the fact that we've gotten to a point where people do not even feel obliged to pay back a loan that was given to them in their dire need. I mean, Fatima, speaking on this loan issues, I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say about this. Because your facial expression, I just feel there is something that needs to be said there.
Actually, I'm even though the introduction has said everything, I'm wondering how one can just go and borrow money just to live a particular life, just to flex or chill because they want to maintain that standard. That's a fake life. But then you're borrowing money and putting yourself in debt. Earlier we just started talking about it. I knew it was going to come up later, so I didn't want to say a whole lot. But then just imagine borrowing money just because you want to maintain a flashy life, maybe go to this place, that place, go and eat. You can, like how? People can actually work for their money instead of borrowing.
Indeed. I mean, when it comes to, there are things that you would consider. When people are having to go and ask for loan, quickly, it would be because they really need something really important. But then when it's not about that, it's about luxury, then definitely it comes to that financial irresponsibility where you don't really care if you put yourself in a whole massive lot of debt, as long as the world sees you as this paying kind of thing. I mean, that's what is happening about social media, where what you see on social media is entirely different from what you see.
It's crazy because people go as far as borrow, like the money they show. It's really not theirs. They just borrow to just show off. And then you put people in situations like they feel they are not doing anything, like their efforts are not, they're not recognized. They're not making any effort to.
Of course, like you're seeing your mates going forward and then you're stuck. Meanwhile, not knowing the goal the person is showing off is on loan.
Exactly.
The money that they are showing is from the bureau, they change for people.
Yeah.
Situations like that. So there's a lot. Anyway, so we are opening the phone lines right now. The number is on your screen. You can call us and also send your messages via WhatsApp. Do not forget, if you're sending your messages, you should include your name and location. And if you're calling us, please do stay away from your TV set. That way we can hear you and have a proper conversation. Or you can turn down the volume of your TV so that we can communicate well. Now, the question is, would you suggest people take loan? And even if they should be there, what would you tell people that are unable to pay back the loan? Because people are putting themselves in a position that it's not favorable. I mean, some people even consider borrowing money to start up a business. I am not.
No, that's a good one.
It is
because
a good
you
thing.
know you can turn the money.
The money,
yes.
But then for me, who have certificates in business administration and management, there is always that fear of what if it does not go as it should be, because we all know the beginning of a business is a scary thing. You could lose a lot before you recover. So there is always that fear. For me, it's something that I know I cannot do. I cannot borrow money to start up a business. I cannot. If it's my money, it's better. I know that if it does not work out, it is my money. I lost it. But it is even the wisest if you're borrowing money in order to generate, turn it into something bigger. That way you can start paying, even if it means installmentally. But then when you borrow things, I mean, do you know what
So, the borrowing is not just money, right? Because there are people that, like you said, you start a business and people come to say, oh, I'm buying this or I'm taking this, I'll pay at so time, maybe end of the month or in 2 months or in 3 months, and they never come through. I always say, when you borrow people's stuff, and you don't return, there's that need for you to always remind them that, oh, I haven't forgotten. That makes them to give you time, because they know that you're considerate, that you're able to, tell them that know that you have them in mind. And imagine you borrow money and you see the person coming and you're always running, trying to hide from this person.
Or you meet and they act as though there is no transaction between both of you. Or you call someone consistently to tell them, I'm reminding you, oh, please send me your account number, and then you go. It's like gaslighting you. They know they are not going to pay you. See, I know someone who put herself in some kind of a toxic, because I call it toxic lifestyle, where whichever vendor she sees, she wants to borrow from them to keep up a standard. And honestly, in this Abuja, it's like almost every vendor know her right now. There's some you're owing somebody 150,000 here, you're owing another person 20,000 here. There is someone that is supposed to pay 50,000 here, and this thing has been going on for years. And you can see these people after 2 to 3 years, and you're acting all cool and okay. Why put yourself in that kind of situation?
And there's, to be honest with you, there are people that have maybe called you to say, oh, can you borrow me this amount? And they are not doing anything. You'll be wondering, how will you pay me back? Because I've already imagined, if I give it to you, there's going to be this me chasing my money, always calling you, because you're not doing anything. You have not shown me that you are actually into something, maybe a business, or you're doing something that my money can come back. And that could maybe, kind of encourage me to want to even borrow the money to you. But then you just come from nowhere, and I see you always posting you're in this club, or you're in this party, or you're in this wedding, and then you're asking me to borrow you money. It doesn't work.
Which is another angle also to look at. Now, as the loaners, as someone who is in a better position to help other people, if someone should approach you, my own take is, if you can give the person the money, and in your mind you're telling yourself, I know I just give that person as a gift, then it's okay to just give the person a gift. And if someone should ask you for 50,000, and you know that if you should give that person the 50,000, they won't pay back, or you're not sure of how that person is able to pay back that loan, then it's safer for you to take something that you can give the person as a gift, and tell him, no, I don't have 50,000, but I have 20,000, or I have 5,000, and here it is. Now,
so you will not put your mind.
Exactly, here it is. I'm borrowing it to you. Now, if you have it, please return it back. So if that person does not return it back, in your mind, you have already gifted that person that money. So that is the best way, because we have seen how borrowing money, especially between a husband and a wife, and that was when Fatima earlier made mention of that happened, it was the first thing that came to my mind, and I was laughing. We saw how husband and wife had the issues of, or many marital issues having clash because of, or crash rather, because of loan. The husband would say, borrow me, and then the wife would borrow, and then along the line the husband might have given the wife gifts in different form, and he would think he has paid the loan, but then the wife is like, no, that is different.
That's a gift. That money is different.
Or a wife would borrow from the husband and she wouldn't pay, things like that, situations like that. All right, we have a first caller this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, your name and location, please.
Honorable Donald Adamu from Benue State.
We can't hear you. Can you speak louder, please?
Please, Honorable Donald Adamu from Benue State.
Okay, from Benue. Okay, go ahead.
Those that don't pay their debts are unpatriotic citizens.
How so?
Very well. Those are the same, for instance, politicians that during campaign they say a lot of things, but when they get to the office, they don't pay. And you know, see those people that when they need the money, they will come to you and they will sweet mouth you. When time to fulfill their promises, they will not keep to it. So that is unpatriotic act. They are not patriotic.
Okay.
A good citizen, yeah. Those that don't pay their debt, they don't pay their taxes. It's always in line with.
It's actually that thing.
I mean, that's another way to look at it. Thank you so much for that thought. Thank you so much for calling us. I mean, it's another way entirely to look at the situation. You don't pay debts. No matter how much you try to make yourself look like a good person, you're not. You're not a good person, because the other person worked for their money or worked for their businesses and decided to start something to help their life or save up money to do something with it. That person could have used the money to just take care of themselves, but then they're saving it for something. And then you come with your problem and they decided to be considerate of you, to remove from that money to give to you, or to remove from their businesses to give to you in return that you would pay back. And then you don't. And then you go, you ghost them out. Some situations, you even look at the person and you act as though, okay, there is another situation that happened, Fatima, yeah? Of someone loaning, money to someone she knows. And when she was talking to her, like after because she promised I would pay back in a month. Yeah. And it went for a long time, came to about 5-6 months. There was no courtesy of calling back and all that. And the thing she said, she called and asked her, like, dude, have you forgotten about, the money I lent you? She's like, why would you even ask me? Here, we don't ask people for loan. When I have, that when I have, I would give you. It's rude to ask someone
wow
to pay back. And my thought was, what?
And you go quiet on me for
exactly.
6 months?
Exactly. And they meet occasionally.
So, that this situation has happened between friends, husband and wife. Currently, there's a situation like that where the wife borrowed this man the money that he paid her bride price. And they got married. She also gave the money for him to get them a house where they were renting. And now he sued her.
For?
He has divorced her and he asked her to pack out, but she didn't because he hasn't given her money back. So he sued her too.
Okay, it is a good thing, but the question here is, did she write an agreement?
I think so, because for them to be in court with the whole situation, certainly. But then the bottom line is, she borrowed you this money and you're supposed to pay back.
Yes.
And in the first place, she's not even supposed to borrow you money to pay her bride price.
Why do even people put themselves in
because
that kind
there are cases
situation?
like that.
People put themselves in a very sad situation that I do not agree with. No matter how much, I do not agree. It is better for you to even tell him, all right, pay me 10,000, as a bride price, than for you to go loan 50,000 and give it to him for him to come and pay your bride price. I mean, a sad situation there, but at the end of the day, when you're borrowing, one thing that I noticed that we do not do as much in Nigeria is writing an agreement. I mean, I don't know about the Christianity, but even Islamically, we know that if there is any debt between even siblings, between a mom and a dad and his son, parents and kids, husband, wife, it is always good. Not to talk more of friends, it's always good to write an agreement, to have witnesses, if it means you to involve legal practitioners, in order to support you on that. It is really important, because some people can renege, some people can lie that you did not even give them any money in the first place. So how would you even cope with that kind of situation? And we have seen how debt has ruined relationships, friendship a lot. So it's really a sad situation.
And in situations like you said, friends, because you feel, oh, she's my friend, she's borrowing me, she's not going to ask me. But then give her a reason not to ask you. Like I said, is by constantly reminding them, like calling to say, oh, I haven't forgotten. Or send a message. How much is a message? It's just 4 naira. You just text and, oh, so person, I'm sorry that you haven't heard from me. It's due to 1 or 2 reasons, but I still have you in mind. I'm still working on it. When you do that, the person is going to be relaxed. They will know that, okay, next time when you come and you ask for help, they will be able to render the help without hesitating, because they know that you are considerate. They know that you have that, apathy, or should I say, that you're going to.
At the end of the day, if you cannot pay back, do not borrow. I mean, that's one thing that I think people are not saying enough. If you cannot pay back, do not borrow. Please go ahead, call us. We know that the network has been really bad. I mean, in the FCT here, we've been experiencing a very bad network from
it's everywhere.
2 days ago, I think. So yes, we know how difficult it is to call us in, but keep trying. I mean, we've had our first caller. Would want to hear from you for this. This is something that has caused a lot of issues in our society, and we need to find a way to solve it. A lot of people are indebted, and at the end of the day, they don't even have something to show for it. You keep borrowing money, putting yourself in a very bad and sad situation, and you're expecting other people to take you out of that situation. We've seen situations where children inherit the debt of their parents. They cry all the time looking for money. The loan sharks, the loaners would keep persisting and disturbing a family member to pay back a loan that someone actually has been compiling for years, and the person has nothing to show for it. So you need to be disciplined. You need to be financially disciplined. If it's something that you cannot afford, just take your eyes off it.
And talking about the stuff you talked about, the ad coming up to say, oh, you can borrow this amount and that amount, you'll be surprised to know that you just be on your own and you see a message coming through because someone has you in their contact to say, oh, this person borrowed money and they have not paid, and you are one of the. What has that got to do with me? Am I a beneficiary? Was I there when the person borrowed? It's so annoying.
If you are annoyed, imagine what
the person will feel, because all his contacts, people that respect him, his in-laws, his business partners.
Right, I think we have another caller. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, please reduce the volume of your TV set.
Okay.
Okay. Your name and location, please.
I'm hearing. I'm coming from Kano.
We can hear our voice from your phone through your phone. So please turn down the volume of your TV set.
Okay. Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you, but there's a bit of disturbance. Okay, what's your name and location, please?
My name is Mohammed Kajira.
Please, can you turn down the volume in your background? It's so loud that we cannot hear you. All right, I think you'd have to call us back.
This message on WhatsApp. Good morning. Even federal government do borrow money. Most business thrive on loans. The economy cannot survive without loans. So just leave this topic. We will continue to take loans as far as we pay back. Daniel from Kaduna. Oh wow. But then it's not like we are fighting. We are just saying, why is it hard?
Oh my God.
Daniel he said, just leave this topic.
Okay, Daniel does not want us to
talk about it, Yeah, he said we will continue to borrow money as far as we will be able to pay. So yeah, that's a different thing.
But
you may be able to pay.
How did you get here? to a point where every business only strive on loan. How that's bad for the economy.
Him starting, even Nigeria borrows money, so he's saying the motherland also is in debt.
Now so here is what we said. We said that, of course, it is okay to borrow if you're going to borrow it for something important. You're stuck and you know that you need to pay your child's school fees. You're stuck and you need to feed your family.
Necessities.
You're stuck and your family member is sick or you're sick. Those are the basic amenities and necessities that we're talking about. But then anything outside that, maybe you see a very beautiful dress that you need to buy. It is not a necessity for you
to borrow
and tell yourself that, okay, I need it on credit, I will pay you back. It is not a necessity. And business owners are suffering from that. Imagine someone tries so hard to raise about 300,000 and say, I want to start up a business with this amount. And the first business, everything was out there on credit. And amongst the, say, 20 people that got everything on credit, just about 4 were able to pay, within just a short period of time, 4 or 5. And so what's she supposed to do? Now the money that came back, it's about, say, maybe 20,000 or 25,000.
Out of 300,000.
What does she do with that money? How can she continue the business? So now we're back to square one. There is that another person that is out of job and is not employed and doesn't have business. I know people that will tell you, I have 3 million outside and their shops are empty.
Yes. And that's because, the fear of saying, keeping these goods, not selling them, especially if they are edible goods, for example, all these canned foods and what have you, you can't keep them for long. So when people come and they are buying wholesale and you sell it to them, your money is hanging somewhere. That's the belief that people have, giving things on credit. But then at the same time, it cripples the business.
It does.
Especially for a starter, it cripples the business. And then you won't be able to double your money. You won't benefit because at the end of the day, people have already taken from you and it takes time. And then imagine paying instrumentally. If you are carrying your goods of 100,000, 150,000 and you keep paying 20,000, 10,000 this month, next month, I'll be tired waiting for that money to come. And then if I don't have any means of, maybe getting a loan or getting money to start up to, supply more goods for people to be able to buy from me, then that business is gone. You start thinking of how you can, come up with another business again. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, Daniel, at the end of the day, you mentioned at the end saying taking the loan as long as you will pay back is the most important thing. Yes. If you can pay back. Now, if, say, Nigerians are people that, or majority of people that take loans are able to pay back, I don't think we'll be having this discussion. But we're having it because lots of people that take debt don't pay back and it's affecting people's businesses. So that is why hence we're having this discussion. You will not understand if you've never been in a position like that where someone took loan from you and never paid. It's a really sad situation. Someone would look at you. I tell you that firsthand, I saw a situation of someone taking, business debts from different people. And she's not able to pay until today. The people are just looking at her. They're tired.
Yeah.
I mean, who has time to
and
go
there's
and
another
take
situation, this is a typical example that I have come across in Kaduna a while back where the wife has been borrowing and the husband had to sell his car to pay back that loan. And he told her, well, this is it. I'm not going to do that again. So,
oh my God. All right, we have another caller. Good morning. Good morning. We lost that call. Please go ahead, call us. Let's hear from you. Send us your messages on this matter. How do we, solve this situation? If it's something that you feel that it is a necessity, just like Daniel said, then we have to preach on how to solve this situation. All right, we have another caller. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Your name and location, please.
Morning, my name is Mr. Saji. I'm calling from Gombe.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity. You see, the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown makes someone not to pay his debts or his loan he collected. And number two, he sees the person he collected the loan from as somebody who is earning more than him. So this is just a dichotomy. How can I just pay him? After all, maybe he has more than what I have. Or he is expecting him to forgive the loan for him. That's the expectation of Africans today. I collected loan from him. He is earning more than me. He has money. He has more than I earn. So let him forget about it. That is the expectation of my own perception. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
contribution.
I think that's a point, because people could actually borrow and not want to pay back. They are waiting for you to forgive and say, "Oh, I've given up."
That is entitlement.
It's not happening.
And the level of entitlement that Africans, Nigerians have, it's on another level. I mean, if we should sit down and talk about this entitlement thing, I'm going to shake a table. Because how would you go to someone and borrow money, and then you're expecting that person to just gift it to you just like that? Meanwhile, maybe that person has been saving that money for the longest time to make use of it. And then all of a sudden, that person is supposed to connect. It's a really sad situation. I do not. Yes, there are people that have that kind of perception, but if you do, please throw it away, trash it in the gutter. It is not acceptable. If you're taking a loan from somebody, expect to pay. Okay, say in a situation whereby you assume the person is not supposed to ask you again. What happens if another period you're stuck? You still expect to go back to that same person and ask the person for loan? I mean, if you're asking that person for loan again, what do you expect the person to do? To trust you, to give you loan that you would assume that you're not supposed to pay back? No. People having that kind of thoughts also.
And have you come across people that have borrowed money from people, or even carry some goods, and you're coming back to ask for your money and they fight you, they start insulting you?
That is what I'm
We have another caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please reduce the volume of your TV.
How it work?
Fine, thank you. Turn down the volume of your TV set, please.
Yes?
Reduce the volume of your TV.
Borrow money.
We cannot hear you, so we need you to reduce the volume of your TV. All right.
I can hear you now. I think if people are talking about the people that used to borrow money.
Yes.
That is how they are now. If you borrow them money, for them to pay again becoming a problem until you be even taking them to court or going to police. They don't have a good habit to pay back borrowing money. That is why we are facing a lot of problems with ourselves in Nigeria today. Because if you are good to them, if you give them money to pay you back, becoming another problem. Is it good like that in Nigeria?
It's not. But are you a money lender? Do you borrow people? How many people have you borrowed so far that haven't paid?
I used to borrow people's money, but for them to pay me money, to pay me back the money, it used to be a tug of war until I continue going up and down with my money again. So it's very bad.
Indeed. But how many days do you give them? Do you tend to negotiate with these people?
Yes.
When giving them, and how many days do you give them? And what interest rate? Are you with us?
Thank you.
All right, I think we lost that one. I mean, but from her voice, you could hear
she's a money lender,
the anger, saying that they don't pay back and all that. But I wanted to hear more from her about the days that you give, because as a lender also, you need to have that conversation with the person. I'm giving you these days, you're supposed to pay in this interest. And there are some situations where the interest does not favor the person you're lending the money to. All right, we'll have another caller. Good morning.
Now.
Good morning. Are you with us? All right. I think we have an issue.
Okay. So Maya, as you were talking to the last caller, a thought just crossed my mind that this pain of death and some of these things are actually home training. Also adds to that. When the discipline that you have from your family. When you grow up seeing your family paying and not borrowing money, you would never try
I agree with that.
To do that, you know. So home training also really plays a crucial role in this particular topic that we're discussing.
And I think I also feel that way, honestly. I feel that way. I tell myself I cannot, I have made myself believe I cannot borrow outside the people in my circle. And I'm talking about maybe mom, dad, siblings, just a friend.
One or two people that you can trust.
Yes,
and
people that they know I pay if I have. So, and they won't be at my neck or on my neck.
So we have another caller.
All right, we have another caller. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Are you with us? I think we seem to have issues. Yes, with the network. Please, can the network providers just go ahead and make it better for us? so I mean, that kind of situation, I know that it always comes from the background that you come from, but it's not always. I mean, there are people that even though they came from families who know the importance of paying back loans, they just decide to just go their own way. I mean, talking about extravagant lifestyle and putting yourself in a position where you cannot afford to pay. And even when you are able to, you feel like that person has more than me, just like one of our callers called in, which is a bizarre thought in your mind, because if you are borrowing, you are expected to pay back. So it does not make sense.
If you know you're not going to pay back, don't come and say borrow me. Instead, just say, please, can you help me with this amount? No, seriously, don't say borrow, because if you say borrow, you are going to have... Yes, you're going to put yourself in a situation, and you're also going to put the person you're borrowing from in a situation. So it's better not to borrow. I think we have a caller.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
You're talking about borrowing money.
Yes, we are. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Enugu.
Okay, Enugu. Go ahead.
But somebody that go and borrow money from somebody who doesn't want to pay back, such don't have shame on his face. Because if you have shame on your own, somebody give you something, you will not even allow another person to hear you that you went somewhere and borrowed this thing. So some of them doesn't have shame. Because somebody like me now, if I go to you now and say, give me 1 naira, tomorrow I'll be looking for any way to give you that 1 naira, because I don't want you to carry my name and go and tell another person, Alaji Mohammed has borrowed 1 naira from you. You know, you look shameful. But anybody that has shame on his face cannot go, if you borrow something from somebody, you try to give him back, so that tomorrow if something holds you again, you can go to that person again and say, I beg, give me 1 naira. Give him a bag. That man is a nice man. If you give him money, even the day you talk, you will not be completed, and you bring your money back to you. You understand? So that's the only contribution I have to you people. It's very good something you're talking about.
Indeed. Thank you so much for calling from Enugu. We appreciate that.
Okay, so we have a WhatsApp message. I hate that even to borrow airtime. When borrowing, you would tell all you want to use the money for. You have to explain what you want to use the money for. Borrower is a slave to the lender. You guys are looking good. Hope you did not borrow to look good.
All right, I feel like
Israel Dalang from Jos. Wow.
Israel, did you just shade us on national TV?
We do not borrow. We don't borrow.
But yeah, Israel, thank you so much. We appreciate your sense of humor.
Peace of mind that made us look good.
It is a great
we have
thing.
Another caller.
All right, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Your name and location, please.
Okay, I am watching this program. I was thinking it's on live. This why is it hard for people to pay their debts on loan? They're talking about borrowing money.
Yes, go ahead with your thoughts.
What I mean, I was thinking it's live, but it's not live, huh?
No, it is live, of course. Go ahead. Go ahead with your thoughts.
What I mean, I'm calling from Sokoto.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts. All right, I think he wanted to prove if it's live. Yes, it is live from our studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja.
Live and direct.
So you get to call us, of course, to hear from us, or to hear from you rather about the situation. So we're talking about debts, borrowing and not able to pay back. being from the loaner's side, we're taking a look at the perspective of you from this side as the person borrowing the money out, and you from the other side as the person collecting the money. Now, there is interest of both people at heart, and the only thing you have is your words and some agreements. All right, we have another caller. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, we lost that call. Please send in your messages. That way we can read and hear from you on your thoughts on this situation. At the end of the day, no matter how much we want to say that the money loaners are not maybe too nice, or considering the person borrowing the money, we also need to put their own thoughts and feelings at heart, because you cannot keep borrowing people money and they are not paying back. If you, as the person borrowing, even if you're in a dire situation, if you cannot afford paying back, do not. And if you're not okay with the agreement of the time, the days that you're supposed to pay back, of the interest that you're supposed to pay, then please just avoid that person. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who
someone said he has stopped borrowing money to people, and that's because they have taught him lessons.
All right, we have another caller. Good morning. Good morning. Are you with us? All right, we lost that call. Okay, you were mentioning earlier, Fatima, about someone giving up and saying, I'm not going to borrow money.
The person said he's never going to borrow anybody money, even if the people are going to die. I was like, that's too hard. He said no. Even if it's his family members, he's not borrowing. He would rather dash them and then let go of it. But, like I said, so imagine if I come to you and I say, oh, Sumaya, borrow me 1 million naira. And you're saving that money for a reason. And then you give it to me because you feel, okay, yeah, already you're saving it. You're not using it. So when someone is in need, you can give the person. And then they have to tell you what you're going to use the money for, because you can't just give them money without any reason. Even if it is the bank you go to borrow money, they'll ask you what's your
what
reason.
are you using it for?
And you have to have a collateral and all that. Yes. So imagine if I give you that money and then you've told me in 6 months I'm going to pay you with interest. If, for example, we agree on that, which we know interest is not even a good thing at this point. But then I'm expecting you in that 6 months for you to pay back. And assuming that money is going to be in my account for that 6 months, I may not even use it. True. So am I supposed to start chasing you for you to pay me my money, and then you start giving me in short, and then that money will just lose its value?
That is something. Now, Fatima just pointed another strong point.
I'm shaking table small.
Someone saved up a huge amount of money and they lend it to you, and you start paying back very annoyingly, shortly. I mean, at the end of the day, the person now has come back to ground zero, because that money has no use. They cannot use that money again, because imagine someone loaning you a million naira and you start paying back with 50,000 and then you pay 60 and then you pay 70. That person would definitely squander the money. So it defeats the aim that he was able to do in the first place, and a lot of people are discouraged. That's why these days when people call in to ask for loan, from friends, family, people tell them they don't have. It's not like everybody don't have. Somebody would have, but perhaps they are already scared of what you have done. So if you want someone to even keep giving you loan, you need to show the person that you are credit worthy. You're someone that can pay back your credit. You're someone who respects someone. You're someone who has shame. One of the caller mentioned that it's lack of shame, and honestly, that is it. Because at some point in life, you might find yourself in a position where you have to borrow money to make use of it, whether it's important, frivolous, or something. But you being able to pay back, that shows how credit worthy you are. That shows how much of a discipline, a person who is humble, a person who respects people, who honor agreements. Someone who is really, really promising when it comes to situations, and integrity is tested. So if you don't pay back loan, that means your integrity is in the mud, and that is something that we're working for. So if we're talking about future of Nigeria, of the country, it boils down to us. And if we cannot even hold ourselves accountable, how can you hold the leaders accountable? It is a no-no, in terms of all these things. So yes, I mean, due to time constraint, of course, Fatima, this is the much that we can take,
even though it's an interesting topic. And Israel,
Indeed.
thank you very much for saying we borrowed money.
All right,
that was hilarious.
Indeed, it was. Thank you so much for those of you who called, who tried to call and weren't able to connect with us. For those who sent your messages, ones that were able to read, and even the ones that were not able to read, we do appreciate you. Do make sure to tune in to this channel next week, same time, same station. That way we can hear from you about another societal topic